You may have graduated from high school, but that doesn't mean high school graduated from you. These are your morning announcements.
Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school. So you can feel cool. Give it to me, baby. Baby. Yeah.
And now, your hosts, Bill McCluskey and Stu Miniwacker.
Good morning, Bear Creek Secondary. I'm Bill McCluskey.
And I'm Stu Miniwacker. It sure is good to be back on the air, isn't it, Bill?
Absolutely, Stu. What have you been up to the last 10 years?
Well, Bill, I've been harboring my lifelong passion for badgers and all things related to badgers. What about you, Bill?
Well, I set out to travel the world, and I only ended up in Phoenix. And then I realized this place is shit, so I came back here.
Boy, that sure is inspiring stuff, Bill.
Devoted listeners will recall that we've been on indefinite unpaid leave ever since a certain member of our team made some unfortunate remarks about blind people on the air.
Yeah, that would be me.
It really was. Do you have anything you'd like to say to the visually impaired community?
I'm glad you asked me that, Bill. I do have a prepared statement.
Well, why don't you go ahead and read that for everyone here?
Sure thing, Bill. I, Stuart J. Miniwacker, would like to say that I am deeply sorry if I have offended any blind folks or their allies by suggesting that the visually impaired are not capable of listening to the morning announcements. I now realize that I was wrong. Those deeply offensive remarks were meant to be directed at the deaf, against whom I harbor a long-abiding, visceral distrust, bordering on hatred. Thank you.
Wow. It's always good to mend the fences, Stu. Well, we have a pretty thick wad of announcements to get through here this morning.
I don't know about you, Bill, but I seem to have a pretty thick wad every morning.
Oh, absolutely, Stu. So what say we get started?
Let's blow our wad for the kids.
Leading off this morning, the Abstinence Club regretfully announces that they have had to cancel tonight's special school seminar with Bristol Palin.
And the Second Chances Club also announces that they have had to cancel their school seminar with Bristol Palin.
What do you think, Stu? Will the Third Chances Club pick up that contract?
Well, Bill, in the words of my ex-wife, go fuck yourself. In other news, Principal Jenkins would like to remind female students that their bodies are decadent and unclean, and must be covered at all times for the sake of humanity. Until you graduate high school, at which point the opposite becomes true. Until you hit menopause, then high school rules very much come back into effect.
Oh, absolutely. First hand. You're looking at two guys that used to be married.
Absolutely.
Nobody wants any part of that action. Moving on, the lunch ladies asked us to tell you that today's cafeteria lunch will be determined by your socioeconomic status.
Here's another announcement just for the ladies. Who says high school's sexist, Bill? Phys ed teacher and proud 2003 Pontiac Aztec owner Miss Parmalee would like to remind female students, if you are going to give a hand job, make sure you spit on it first.
It's just safety. And fellas, if she doesn't, you should totally get your weed back. As the kids say, that's just not coming correct.
100%, Bill. That's just pissy sriracha sauce.
In other news, the Chemistry Club announces that it wants to take a break from seeing the Physics Club. Chemistry Club President Jesse Moorhead just feels that the clubs are at different places in their lives and might benefit from having the freedom to experiment with other clubs.
It's so important to be on a wavelength, Bill.
Just ask the obnoxious Leighton Sounds Club.
Moving on, the Greek Students Association is still accepting donations. The people who brought you Aristotle, John Stamos, and a pantheon of overpriced yogurts need your help. So instead of issuing an ultimatum, they're asking politely, you have until midnight. What do you think, Bill? Will the Russian Students Association pick up that contract?
Well, Stu, in the words of my ex-wife, I hate you slightly more than I need you.
You truly are a lucky man, Bill.
In a Lou Gehrig sort of way.
And finally, it's time for today's celebrity unbirthday. Ben Vereen doesn't turn 38 years old today.
Boy, isn't that special. Ben, wherever you are today, Stu and I hope you're having a great time not celebrating anything in particular.
Well, Bear Creek, that's our show for today. I'm Stu Miniwacker.
And I'm Bill McCluskey. Don't get caught without a hall pass.
Mr. McCluskey's wardrobe provided by a series of barking lot donation bins. These have been your morning announcements.